Hugh, I'm just wallowing. I'm wallowing. You know why?
Why you wilding, Joe?
Because nobody wants this offensive coordinator job. All right, well, let's get to this. 215-592-9494. Yeah, we'll get to your phone calls here. Are the Eagles a good OC away from getting this thing back to the level the Seahawks are at? It would be nice if we could test this theory out by them actually getting an OC they want. So, a lot of news we went over right before you got in the studio, Hugh, about where we're at with some of these candidates. The latest, just minutes ago, according to Diana Rossini, Declan Doyle has removed himself from consideration to be the Eagles' offensive coordinator. He is staying under Ben Johnson and with Caleb Williams. Hugh Douglas, your reaction that we got turned down by Declan.
Wait a minute. So, wait a minute. He's an assistant, right?
Yes.
And he wanted to be an OC. Like, they were giving him the OC job.
Well, so to where I think you're going with this, he is underneath Ben Johnson, right? But he doesn't call the plays. Ben calls the plays. Here, he would have been able to call the plays. He said no thanks.
Well, I guess two things come to mind. Know thyself. I think that's from the Bible. Know yourself.
Here comes spin doctor.
No, I'm saying, and then, I mean, I'm thinking, like, and I don't know this for sure, but maybe he felt like he wasn't prepared for the scrutiny that he was going to be under here.
He's afraid of you?
Joe, I feel like it was probably a little bit of that, and it was probably a little bit of what he's probably heard in the streets. You know, the streets talking to. There's two different things going on here. You know, it's the coaching carousel thing and what the coaches are saying about this job.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because this is a small fraternity of coaches. And that's why – and this is the reason why I asked this weekend why coaches are leaving. And nobody – like, I thought people were going to dig a little deeper, but they didn't catch what I was putting down. I understand, like, going for a better job is always the end-all to be-all. But I'm pretty sure the assistants here were being paid a pretty penny. And then you're going to a couple of teams when you talk about the Dallas Cowboys and you talk about the Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins, they're trying to resurrect their situation. Dallas Cowboys a little bit different. But my point was that this is a squad that's one game removed from playing in the Super Bowl. They played in the Super Bowl the year before. They're not that bad of a squad. And it's a good chance that if you get everything corrected, that you might be in that position again to go next year. That was the point that I was trying to make. But
so to your point on this, so you're talking about Clint Hurts taking an interview to become the Dolphins defensive coordinator, right? Mm-hmm. We know Christian Parker went to become the Cowboys defensive coordinator, and there was another assistant you were referencing. Yeah. Yes, interviewing down in Dallas too. So, Hugh, if we add that to the coordinator situation, like, do we think something's going on here? That these coaches don't want to be here?
That was what I was thinking, Joe. And like I said, I thought people would dig a little bit deeper. I understand, you know, being in a situation to improve your job status or, you know, to put it on your resume. But when you talk about what we've been told about this organization and what we know about this organization, I should say, and where they are as far as is in the hierarchy of the NFL, I just thought that was interesting that in a year that we just had, you know, 1 year removed from the Super Bowl, and we're not that far away in my eyes of being that potential contender, so many people are deciding to leave now. It's hard. Yeah, I put this as, say, like, for instance, if we were the Patriots in the years that they went on all those runs, I just don't recall this many coaches leaving at one time. Like, the coaches leave, but I don't recall this many coaches leaving at one time.
It does feel like a lot. I don't disagree. I mean, some of these are just, you know, kind of a natural jump. Like Christian Parker gets to be a defensive coordinator, so I get that. But there's also others. I mean, you're talking about assistants. And then you add that to – I mean, these offensive coordinators don't want to come here. I don't know how else I'm supposed to spin this or think about this. And maybe if it was, you know, maybe if it's just like one or two, I could understand, like, all right, maybe that guy, just his situation, maybe he wanted it to be different or he didn't want to come here. Okay. Kyle, it's starting to add up, man. I mean, the Declan Doyle one, the only thought I had, and people could view this any way they want, the first thought I had was he thinks he has a better chance to becoming a head coach by sticking around under Ben Johnson, not calling plays with Caleb Williams, that'll make his star shine brighter. Yeah. than coming here and calling the plays for Jalen Hurts. I mean, I don't know how else I'm supposed to think about the Declan Doyle thing.
It's telling. I think you could also...
You could look at it any way you want to look at it, to be honest.
Yeah, and I think another way to look at it is, I don't know if there's as much bust factor for him in that role there with Caleb and Ben. Like, he's not calling the plays, so, like, fat chance that he's going to get scapegoated if something goes wrong there in Chicago next year, because they're not going to have him to point to. Like, he's not the guy with the headset. He's not the guy calling plays. Here, though, it feels like you either end up a head coach or you end up fired and getting scapegoated for whatever the hell happens on the offense. So, like, I think you could look at it that way.
And you know what? I'm going to say I don't know if this is true because it wouldn't be a deal breaker for me, but I'm built a little bit different. But maybe it's you people. No.
No, here we go.
No, seriously.
You're saying we should apologize to Petula?
We should attack.
Well, that's a good show. Hold that one.
No, we should attack this from all angles, folks. I mean, let's be honest. The Kevin Petula stuff, what happened was over the top. And we're living in a day and age now where, I mean, people are super sensitive to a whole lot of different things. And maybe he's looking at that and he's looking like, I don't feel like dealing with that. I don't feel like dealing with this, in his words, ignorant ass fan base. You know? I mean, maybe that is something to it.
Well, at least those people can't point to us this time. They were way harder on Petula than we were on him.
I mean,
totally
that would never be, for me personally, that would never be a deal breaker. Oh, they're going to get mad at me if I don't do well. I mean, hell, that kind of goes with the job, in my opinion.
Yeah, but I don't know if it's about us getting mad at him. I think it is. I mean, Petula, it's not just that we were mad at Petula, but he did get axed or, scapegoated for what happened on the offense this year. Like, he had to bite the bullet.
Yeah, and maybe he's looking at it like, I don't feel like doing that. Because I know, who knows, maybe he feels like the quarterback is a problem. Who knows?
Oh, is Petula running his mouth right now?
Well, so
I think so.
This.
I tried to tell y'all this. Like, he looked like he telling on somebody.
You did say he was a snitch. So every time we bring up that there's it's high risk, high reward here, right? Like, two of Sirianni's offensive guys have become head coaches, right? Steichen and Kellen Moore. But two of them have gotten fired and pretty much scapegoated. Hugh, I wonder, I mean, all these coaches talk, right? So now we have, in the last 3 years, 2 coaches fired that maybe it wasn't really their fault, and they talk, right? So, like, who knows who Brian Johnson is friends with around the league, right? Who knows who Kevin Petula's got the same agent as? And maybe they're talking like, hey, Charlie Weiss Jr., hey, Declan Doyle. Listen, Philadelphia is awesome. They love football. They care. But, if the players don't play well, you get blamed for it. It might not even be your fault, but you're going to take the fall, and your career will fall off. Hugh, I do think there could be a sense of, like, if I just stand next to Ben Johnson, I could become a head coach next year. If I go to Philadelphia and it goes bad, everyone thinks I'm done for the rest of my career.
Yeah, and that's the unfortunate thing about it. I'm not panicking, but this is telling. This is telling. Like, everything that has transpired this weekend, and I know one side of the ball necessarily doesn't have to do with the other, but it just seems like it's a mass exodus of the Eagles right now. And I'm just like, wow. Because let's talk about it. We still got to figure out, we got to find a D-line coach. We're going to have to get a linebacker coach. And we're going to have to get a DB coach. We're going to get some more coaches.
Well, and that's the side of the ball we feel best about, right?
Yeah.
Like we
you know what I mean?
We might have to replace a lot of coaches.
We're sitting there looking for an OC, but we got to figure out all these other positions now because everybody else leaving.
Yeah, I just can't believe we were turned down by a guy in his 20s named Declan. I mean, just like let that sink in for a second. A guy in his 20s named Declan was like, nah, I don't want to call plays. I don't want to do it. 215-592-9494. All right, where do you come down? Your reaction to the latest on the coordinator search. We could be, I guess, potentially could be circling back to Daboll. He's still out there, but it seems like more names are falling off the board than jumping onto the board.